There you go. Because I was discussing with Dan before that it's the same thing. Like, I have so many things that I do, and what do I call myself? And letting go the idea of you have to call yourself something, right? The shaman, the healer, like you were saying. So continue, please. I'd like to hear your perspective about this. Like, this is really good.
What was I saying? That's what I'm in the flow. Yeah, I just recently moved from one town to another, and with that transition, because it was quite a big, what some people call a big choice or a big move into a new relationship and a new location. And with that transition, I had this mourning period and grief, and I realized it wasn't not only to the friends but it was the identity of that. And this I play with sound, and it's like I'm the sound healer and I do this thing, and it's like, and then I just kind of caught myself going, I'm just mourning a loss of an identity and significance I've placed on that. And I know I can create again, and I can now create something else. But how willing are we to do that? How willing are we to let go of the forms and structures and the significance we place around not just the, what some people call the everyday job and the 9-to-5, but it's also anything, the light worker, the shaman, like you said. And it's just all this, like, I am this, and it shut ourselves off from the all there is universe to actually play and create in all spaces. And when we do that, like I just realized, it's like, oh my gosh, I just cut myself from playing in other spaces as well. And once I realized that, it's just like so much more freeing. It's like, well, who can I be today? What can I?
Yes.
A real stimulants now as I'm in this new location of like, a new terrain, a new town, a new community, and it's like, whoa, rather than.
Exactly. Yes, it's interesting because when we decide to put these labels on, and they are labels, and some people think it expands the awareness of the people around us about what we do. And I came to the decision about those labels, like the shaman, the healer, the tonal worker, all these ideas about the light worker. To say you're one, to say I'm a clairvoyant, I'm a psychic, I'm a this, I'm a that. It does feel very limiting because there's so much more. There's so many aspects of the universe or God or your higher self. It's just, you're just so much. And to say you're just that, it very much limits the capabilities that are growing within you. And so I had to, Dan was like, oh, Sarah, just drop all the labels. Just drop them. Just don't give yourself a label. Because like you said, at first we call ourselves the tonal healers. We're tonal healers. And this is the beautiful thing. It does a lot of work for people. It gives so much. It gives so much of yourself in the process. And it provides such balance for yourself and the person you're working with. But once you drop those labels, you begin to discover all of these little newer talents, like the connection to the air, the connection to the water and the fire and the earth, and the connection to the other human beings you're speaking to. And you can kind of help them heal in a different aspect. It's a beautiful thing, really. Yeah. Oh, I love it.
Yeah.
And Dad said something to me one day. He said that you need to just try to connect to who you are, the one thing. And he says, you're not really learning anything from all these different aspects. I said, well, I have. I've become a Hathor in 4 years. I've become a Reiki healer. I've become a lot of things. All these things. Galactic languages.
Yeah.
Like, it just fits, So
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
I was going to say, like, how are you finding that? Because it's almost then, when you let go of the labels, did you find yourself going, how was that?
It's like walking blind.
Because I felt like
You don't
I
know who
went through
you
quite
are.
similar, going, well, what's the point? I was going through this phase of like, well, what's the point of life, kind of thing, and it was almost like too much choice. So I've been going through that, and it's like, and there's no wrong choice, and it was like, well, what do I want, and what? So I was going with this kind of nothingness for a while. Yourself up, going, I'm not doing anything.
Yeah, you feel like you're being pulled in so many different directions that you're going nowhere. But the going nowhere is the stillness you need to be in. It's quite like you're all in nothing at the same time.
So I've been going through these different, I don't know, it's kind of like, I don't even know how to put it into words. It's kind of
The waves of reality.
I'm trying to grab onto reference points.
Exactly.
Well, which one shall I grab onto? Go, what? And then it goes back to I hear people say, different teachers have been watching about preference, and there's no right or wrong there. Then you kind of, I guess, I revisit some of the choices to go, no, it actually is my preference to be the sound healer. I'm not only that, but I'd like to play in that space. And so I guess, I don't know about other people, but it feels like that kind of reviews. Am I choosing because I was avoiding something and I was moving away from something, or is this my true choice? And I'm really hearing that quite a lot, is about when you're choosing a choice to really align with it.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like, yeah, I'll be the healer, and not really believe it.
Exactly. Yeah, it's kind of like now you have to put the action to the moment. Just like what I'm doing now, I keep saying I'm the healer. I'm the person who likes to have conversation, and you can heal in conversation. Nice. But I wasn't doing anything with it. And it kept telling me, you really have to do something with this. And my own heart told me that. I really would like to expand my own awareness of that fact. And so in order to do that, well, you actually have to do something. And that's to speak to other people. That's it. Just to speak to other people. What are you doing to do that?
Yeah.
So I decided to open this space for that purpose specifically, because I love to play in this realm. Huh?
And thank you for doing that. It's like, oh.
Thank you for being here. Yeah, it's wonderful to know that you can play different aspects of yourself all while you're here. Because we're trained to say, oh, you can only do this in your lifetime, right? The job.
Yeah, you have a purpose, you know.
That one purpose. We've been told that all our lives. What is your purpose? What is your one purpose in life, right?
What was that, Dan? Is it Gary Dan?
Yeah. What's my life purpose?
Yeah.
Pretty sure all life purpose is to make your parents angry for the first 25 years of your life, and then after
and the rest.
And the rest is up to you. Then you're on your own.
What's been happening for you then?
Well, for me, just craziness. No, I've been taking it easy the past couple of weeks. It's been nice. And then today I'm not feeling so hot, so I'm all like no color today for some reason. The white shirt wasn't working. I had to go get some color. But yeah, and my cam hasn't been. I might need to clean the lens too. That probably doesn't. But anyway, no, I'm all right. A little under the weather, but not too far under.
Sure.
But I'll be all right later. But otherwise, no, everything's all right. All the people are survived the New Year's and Aquarian full moon, eclipse, retrograde, you name it.
I know, it's like, how many words can we fit in one?
Yeah, just like,
super duper blue moon with
January to April, whack. It's just all whack. And now the whack is.
Well, you got whacked by the energy.
Everything got whacked. Yeah. Even the ones who don't get whacked got whacked. Even I got whacked.
It does feel like that. I had epic crying last night, so it was like.
Yes. What is that? I found myself just crying for no reason. Like. I wasn't even watching anything that'll make me cry. I wasn't having any thoughts that would make me cry. But all of a sudden, I just started crying. I said, why am I crying?
It feels really amplified for me at the moment as well. So I don't know about you guys, but it's like the smallest thing. Oh.
Your shoelaces are tied together. Right? I don't have shoelaces. I got Velcro. Oh, but shoelaces, the shoelace collective loves me. I feel their strife. Whatever.
Oh gosh. Yeah.
I think it's so important though. Like, I'm so grateful for you, Sarah, for putting the invitation out, because it's so true about it. You feel like you're on your own. I remember the early I guess years of me being more conscious with the processing. I guess a lot of people call it that. And I guess my awakening was in 2007. I would just freak out thinking what was wrong with me, because I just used to break down crying a lot. But now I know, like, it's almost like I'm celebrating, because I feel like, yay, something else is, I'm releasing something else.
Yes.
I just expanded to someplace I wasn't a minute ago. Yay.
Yeah.
Oh, it just released 1939. Yeah. Right. 27 lifetimes. Out of my way. All right, let's go. Now.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That's an interesting point. It's like you don't know what you're releasing here, but you could be releasing something.
That's why I tell people when they get in that state, it doesn't matter what's going on. It doesn't matter. Just cry it out, get it the hell over with, and when it's over, go, well, gee, thanks. I don't know what you did, but it's awesome. Right?
Yes.
It's cleared out something. But they go, what's wrong? Not a single thing is wrong. Stop thinking that wrong.
What's right? Yeah.
Don't let wrong be.
That's a better question. What's right?
Everything is right. Nothing is wrong.
What's right?
Yeah.
It's actually the other way around, right? Yeah, so.
My friends used to joke about, because you're saying, like, what's going on? What's going on? It's like, well, what's coming off?
Yeah.
I like that. That's perfect.
Yeah. So energies get shed, and then that makes room, and then that creates space. And go, oh, what can I do with that? Oh, I wasn't like that. So maybe now that stuff I was working on like 10 years ago that I couldn't get through, I wonder if I can get through it now, because I just dumped a whole bunch of stuff. So you think, wow, I wonder if that was the anchor that was holding me back before. And then you got to go back. Hey, let's see if we can do it again. And they tell you that in the spiritual circles, to say, hey, if it didn't work, wait a little while and then try it again. And then if it doesn't work, wait a little while again and then try it again. But at some point it will clear and you'll be able to get through there. So if you're trying to lucid dream or astral travel or do some kind of spirit thing, but you just haven't been able to quite make it, you have breakthroughs every once in a while, but every once in a while, just try again. And at some point, really, it's just, then it's law of averages. If you try enough, you'll eventually break through.
Yeah.
And so it's good. So that's a fun thing to do too. So, I just had this big cry. I should try something new now, or something.
Have you guys also noticed any change in your methods of your, I guess, releasing and belief systems? Like, I really noticed it with myself, where I almost catch myself questioning, well, that's an interesting story I'm spinning for myself. And then kind of going, but then also kind of going, well, that's okay, because I guess the whole way our reality is through story, and it's wrapped in this way. So whether it's past life or this life or parallel universe, or I guess it's then whatever works.
Mm-hmm.
And I noticed some things that used to work aren't, because I'm going that doesn't resonate anymore. That's kind of like the, you know, story of clearing the land or whatever is, whatever way it's, what's the word? Yeah, how it's delivered is up to you. Have you noticed that changing?
You run the... You're living your everyday life mode, but there's also the observer mode operating at the same time. And so when you're telling those stories, and even while you're in the middle of speaking, is this really a story I want to tell about myself? Is this really a story that I really am I chiming in on even this part of this story? Or if I do tell this story, I only want to tell it like once or twice and not dwell on it. I just want to vent it and go. And so, you know, sometimes when I counsel people, I'll tell them that same thing. They'll say, I'm so mad. I say, fine, be mad. Be mad, get mad, be enraged, go, I don't know, kick a tree or something, whatever you want to do. Get it out of your system, but don't stay mad. These people who get mad and stay mad for like weeks, and then they're manifesting a lousy, lousy, lousy life.
Yeah.
Get mad, stay mad, vent it, get rid of it, and then go on. Don't stay mad. Don't stay mad. Don't go to sleep mad, or you will wake up and have the worst day ever. Don't do it. But monitoring the story as you tell it and go, okay, well, I'm gonna let that go. I know that's energy I got. Oh, the car, stuff. Yeah, be irritated, but don't stay irritated. Be mad. Don't stay mad. Don't get back to your well-being. Right, get back to your neutral position as soon as possible. So,
but do you feel with the techniques you share have changed? For example, like I used to have the belief that you need to be protected, and you have a bubble, which worked really well at the time. And then I noticed myself catching myself going, do I? Like, what's that about? Because that in itself creates a story, which is totally bad. It's like riding a bicycle. You need the stabilizers. And then you kind of go, well, actually, if I just show up, do I need protection? That's what I mean about changing in belief systems and modalities. Like, have you noticed you both?
Yeah, I just had this conversation with a monk that I met at the Conscious Life Expo, and he says, "Oh, I can teach you methods of protection. I can teach you this history from the lineage and da 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 da." And he said, and I'm listening to him, and I said, well, I don't believe in the idea of protection any longer. Because the idea of protection means you have something you want to protect yourself against. It means resistance. It also means fear. That's the vibration of protection to me, personally. Because if I need to protect myself from somebody, that means they're coming against me in some way, right? Or something, they're coming against me in some way. So I say, I don't believe in protection anymore because I have a lot of light. And what is darkness? The absence of light, right? And so I say, if you're coming near me, you must be looking for some light because I'm just going to keep shining. And whatever it is that you have that I used to fear I need to be protected against, guess what? That light is going to shine on that, and you're just going to be filled with love and compassion. There's no need for protection any longer when you have love and compassion, and that person feels it or that thing feels it, and all they can do to love and compassion is either sit there and receive it or vibrate another way. So that's my idea about protection.
Yeah, and that's just like one example of the many belief systems that are out there to buy, and that's the analogy I've kind of really helps me is that we're all in the business of buying and selling beliefs. And it's like, oh my gosh, I've just bought a whole lot that I don't use, or it's not serving, or it's time for a rehaul. And
it came as a kit.
Came as a kid. Just like, okay, I don't need this part. Let's throw away that part. Oh, what's this? Okay, let's throw that one away. We don't need that any longer. Oh, you're still around. Oh. Let's throw that one away too.
But I was similar back
because they're
too.
don't need any longer.
But I was similar back in the day too. So, oh, you need to protect yourself because there's beings out there. I said, yeah, but after a while, what you only need protection if you think you're not aligned. Well, once you're aligned with all your beings and you know what's going on and you know who's nearby and you know all your stuff, when you're comfortable in your energy and you know everything is all in a line already, when you're in alignment, you know, protection from what? You got beings in your army that are just handling all your stuff, right? There's beings, soul group handling. They got your back. You don't need to worry about it. So once you know that you're in alignment with your energy, I don't worry about protection. It's already there. And if something raises its head, I'll just knock it back down again and do whatever I need to do to it.
Just point to it and say, hey, you're not part of my magnificence. That's a crayon saying, you're not part of my magnificence.
You want the next see you later. You can stay quiet.
Exactly.
It's so true on so many levels, that knowing who you are on so many levels. Like even I'm just thinking back to when I was in my office days and working, like I wasn't that confident. So it's that, do you know who you are? Do you have the confidence to stand up and feel that you belong and that you own your opinions in that? For my example was that my story was that, I didn't dare to speak up in the meeting sort of thing. So it's like on that level, and it's the same again and again, until we master I guess our worth and a sovereign, whatever that means for people, and that self-sovereignty. If
mastering is a word that people have trouble with, and when you go from the difference between thinking and knowing, so when you're thinking, you think you need to do all this stuff, but when you know, it's kind of like, oh, there's a being over there, he's going to mess with me. Hey, you just call your dragon or whatever. Hey, dragon.
Yeah.
Kind of, I got a pet reptilian over here. He'll handle all that. Whatever. It doesn't matter. Whatever. Once you see, that's the thing. So when you know what's around, and then you don't need to worry about anything. You just do your thing. Say, look, all right. You clear the space. You make the sacred space. You make it yours. Say, okay, all you beings, I'm going to do my healing here. If you like it, fine. If you don't, take off.
Well, the way I see it is those beings come to you because they're looking for something, or they want to teach you. They're there to teach you whether you understand it or not. They're there to teach you that you still have some fears that need to be worked with.
If you get the heebie-jeebies on an energy or something, but for the most part, I find that the beings that come around, it's either one or two things. They're either here to learn and help, or they're here because they have found and want to learn, or they need something. So when I'm doing a healing event, which is the number one thing I do in this room, is then they all come to either see it or they need it. They either want to help or they need it. It's like, all right, well, take what you need. It's like a buffet. If there's something here and you need it, take it.
Yeah, so what's that saying? When the student is ready,
the master appears.
Yeah,
but it all. Really, those things appear in our life, right? Even though it may not seem comfortable.
Yes.
And there's a lot more to the unseen than there is in the seen. So it looks like there's 3 of us here, and there might be 3 physical representations here, but there's probably a million non-physicals. Just
all watching.
All the features, there's some in the cheap seats, but they're still watching, right? So
multi-dimensional live stream.
Yeah.
Galactic. Quantum live stream.
Galactic live stream. Yes. Wow, what's going on Earth today? Let's get into the channel and see what's going on down there. Oh, look, they're talking about neat stuff. All right, then hang on. And then this message will go out to whoever it needs to go out to. So even that gets built in.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Have you begun to feel the energies around you, Yi? Like I'm very aware of them?
Yeah, I've been, what now, or just kind of in general?
Yes, now and in general.
Have you been more sensitive lately?
Yes. I mean, I guess I've been quite sensitive, if that's the word, most of my life. and then more consciously so with the awakening, and then having some tools to dare to go there. And there's just so many levels of that. Because that's a good thing to share with people, that it's confusing at first, but when you're armed with some tools and techniques, you can play with that. So yeah, I kind of get, and New Zealand's been really good for me, and it's been quite conducive, but it's not saying that London was where I was before. It's quite busy, but I was still able to tune in quite clearly. You know, when a message needs to get through, it gets
it just comes.
So yeah, and then I realized that one can tune in, and learn how to not turn it off, but kind of choose when I want to tune in, rather than, yeah.
Tune into your interests and tune out.
I used to work in television, ironically, so you can basically tune into a broadcast or not. So questions I find really helpful to go, what are you aware of? Like you just said that, what are you aware of? Are you more sensitive? Well, what do you want to know? And it's like, I can tune into whatever channel.
That frequency.
Yeah. Rather than have it all the time. So there's something like reading, I guess. If someone, for example, I used to go on a lot of what I call earth journeys, and my friend used to always be looking for ley lines and portals. And so, so she's super tuned into that because she's chosen to tune into that.
Of course.
And then, so she's like, can you not feel that? I went, hang on. And then I'll go, what channel are you tuning into? Yeah. Oh, portals and ley lines. Oh, okay. Hang on, let me just dial into that. So that's what it's really switched for me. So it's much more manageable in that sense, rather than open broadcast. It's like
beautifully spoken.
Yeah. How about you guys?
That's correct. I see that portion for myself, but I also see the portion of becoming much more aware of my own field and how people relate and come into my field, and feeling that energy swirl around me. And not just people, plants and animals and flowers and things like that. And even if I think about the cloud, I can feel that field connecting to my field. It's interesting. The connection of we are the whole of it all. And you just think about the frequency and you're automatically dialed into it. And, so, and then you can feel the energy of that existence, that being, that cloud, flower, animal, human. It's very, what's the word? You can. It's almost like you can touch it now. Where before you felt disconnected, now you can feel the energies of it as you think about it.
Yes. Yeah.
Does that make sense?
That's a really good description. Yeah. It's like that dynamic. How you're more aware of the instantness of it.
Yeah. Like the connection of it all as you're thinking. So that's a new paradigm for me. At least it's recent. And I'm finding that even the elements are part of that as well. So, more to think about. More consciousness to become aware of, I guess.
Yeah.
Well, most people don't connect to their reality, believing that it's a piece of them.
Mm-hmm.
Or they'll focus on like the negative aspects of the reflection instead of looking at the entire reflection as a whole and go, oh, this is a thing. So yeah. Like feeling the heat on your skin and becoming part of that heat itself. Or realizing that there's radiation that's flown from like somewhere else that came through the atmosphere to radiate you. So, wow, that's an interesting collective you represent. Thanks for stinging me for a second. Yeah. Well, there's not just the heat, it's the moisture in the air.
the smell you get as you're breathing, or it's like you become so sensitive to all of these different vibrations, and you're connecting to the frequencies of them, not really understanding that's what you're doing at first, but now you understand that they are consciousness within themselves.
Yeah.
I have another weird example of that. Like when I'm down at the beach,
yeah,
I might be taking a break, and it's like I don't get to the beach like often. And beach isn't a place I've been to until just recently, right? Often. So I go down there and I'll sit, and I don't know. I know I'm aware, but I don't know of what I'm aware of, right? I'm just like wide open. And I'll be sitting there, and then suddenly be like, wow, there's a lot of sand here. I'm not used to seeing sand. And then the idea will come in. So, wow, there's a grain of sand down here that's not been stepped on by somebody yet. And it's like saying, it's like, where does this even come from? It's like, oh, well, there's a shell over there that's not seen like a particular kind of bird before, or the shell's not been on the shore before. It's always been under the water, and now it's on top of the water. It's like, wow, this is a weird place. And like tune into a shell. It's like, where'd that even come from? You know? And so, yeah, it's weird when you're wide open in an interesting area that you're not used to being in, and just like sensing all the stuff. But it's pretty neat what comes up to speak. Or sometimes I'll be there and I'll hear something from the water, and I'll go, it'll get my attention. I'll go, there's somebody out there. What do you want? What are you saying? You know, it's somebody out there. And it'd be a school of fish or something. Or it'll be a seagull or something. They just go, oh, hi. Oh, you're listening? It's like, yeah, I'm listening. Oh, we're listening too. So, cool. Have a great day. Wow, that's pretty interesting. I wonder how many other people on the pier are having this very same experience. And I'm pretty sure it's zilch. Pretty much absolutely zero people sitting on the pier talking to beings in other places that are nearby. It's just like, wow, we're so glad you've never been nearby us before. It's neat talking with you. Yeah, it's neat talking with you too, whatever you are. You know, just interesting things. Yeah, just neat when you're out. Anyway, that's where I went with all of that.
Sure, yeah, it's amazing what we can perceive in our reality. It's this as they say, the really good indicator of where we're at. And I like you had a bit of an interesting experience about that, I guess, communion and connectedness with things. And I was down at the beach here, and the mountain ranges were almost, as I turned my head, they were kind of coming into view, if that makes sense. It was almost like I could just glimpse that being formed. Mm-hmm. And it's like, well, that's a bit trippy. And like I am creating my reality.
You saw reality just pop up for you. Like, oh yeah, there's a mountain here. Like the crew just barely got the mountains in on time. You know?
Yeah. Like,
wait, oh my God. Oh, she's looking over here. Quick, put the cloud where it's supposed to be. All right, come on, you guys. Doggone it, do better. The cloud was this far away last time. Come on.
To acknowledge, and I had to just to remind myself to acknowledge I am the creator, I am the source of creation of my world, and to acknowledge it's not, I guess a lot of people don't associate, they associate, wow, you're the beautiful things, but it's like, wow, all the uncomfortable things, I created that too, awesome. Mm-hmm. and I guess a lot of us shy away from that side as well, which I'm learning how to be better at, with being comfortable with uncomfortable. Knowing everything is what I'm perceiving with my lens of reality, and how I have the power to change that. That's a really big thing, a big learning for me this last few years.
Another story similar to that. We weren't here very long, and we got invited to go to Carlsbad with our friend Kristen, and we were driving along the Pacific Coast Highway. And Chris is going, wow, look at the ocean. I'm looking, and I can't see the ocean. All I see is just like cloud and like sky. And I didn't say anything for the longest time. We're just going down, oh, look at the ocean, look at the ocean. So I couldn't see the ocean because I hadn't seen the ocean before. So my brain didn't have like an image to draw on to know what the ocean looked like. So I'm just looking, it was just gray space. And finally, one time she said, oh, look, finally there's a boat. And when I saw the boat, And then my brain equated the boats are on the water. Then I could see the water. But I couldn't see the ocean until there was a boat on it, until my brain could make the connection. And then I could see it. But I don't know, how long were we in the car, Sarah, before I even was able, we were in the car at least a good hour before
you couldn't see it for a good 10 minutes after we were like, oh, there's an ocean over there. Because I'm from an ocean town. I'm from Miami.
So you knew what the ocean looked like. I'm from the Midwest. I hadn't seen ocean. I didn't know what to look for. My brain couldn't even put it together. I didn't even know what the reality looked like, so there just wasn't any. Wow. And I thought that was weird. Because all clouds, trees, road, highway. Oh, there's the ocean. What's that look like? I had no idea. Wow. And it wasn't until there was a boat there, and then my brain could put the pieces together. But if it wasn't for the boat, I still probably wouldn't know what the ocean looked like.
And it was a big ocean.
It's like, right up there. So how could I miss this thing? How could I miss this thing for like 30 miles? Miss it? How could you miss this thing? And I was just flabbergasted. How the hell is that even possible?
Well, it was a very foggy day, so
yeah, it was weird, but still, it's like, how are there other people running around?
Having an insight about something
of reality.
Well, that's it. It's like the unseens. Like, when do we stop calling them unseens? Because that is the same concept, right? Of you not seeing the ocean is like us not seeing other beings, because are we trying to put them into a form, and like someone needs to, that whole thing. What are we not really
context?
If it wasn't for alien art, we wouldn't even have a clue. Oh, you're the lizard-looking one. All right, now I got you. Yeah. Or you're the this-looking one, or you're the that one. Oh, you're the glowy thing. Okay, yeah. Oh, you're an orb. Okay, perfect. I know what an orb is. I don't know what you are, but I know what an orb is. I can put it together. But
yeah, it's like, what have we decided, right? What have we decided?
Well, this is why we don't see more UFOs, because nobody knows what the hell a UFO even looks like, right?
Well, it's interesting you came about the context of it, because for me, when I first began, I didn't see any beings. I couldn't connect to the frequency, but my third eye began buzzing every time. That was an indication to me that something was around me. That was a new energy. So that was my context before I can actually see, inwardly while connected to the frequency of it. That was my, hey, somebody's here,
That was your doorbell? That was your doorbell?
That was my doorbell. Hey, somebody's here.
Hey. Come
on.
Hello.
Notice, pay attention.
Proximity.
But I had no other type of context before that, So it's interesting about context. We need something there to tell us something else is there.
Yeah.
Does that make any sense?
Yeah. We need it's like a message.
Does to us. I don't know if it's going to make sense. Can't speak for them. Yeah. If they don't know, they'll figure it out soon enough.
Yeah. Oh, I guess that's why people have then the extreme awakening stuff, because it's like a big slap on the face. Like your being is wanting you to, I guess, pay attention to something else other than the current reality.
Hey, you know that stuff you heard all your life? It's true. Well.
So yeah, how much more ease can we have with that, and the subtle, I guess, whispers?
Yes, that's why I said listen to the silence. And
Whispers.
It doesn't make any sense to most people to listen to the silence, but it's almost like this very thin thread of consciousness that's coming to you. And people say, what's going on? What's happening? Or like, what are you thinking about? And you can't explain it because it feels like silence, but it's very, what's the word? It is very known. You're connected to the understanding of whatever is telling you at that time, but it's hard to communicate outward to someone what you're feeling or what you're integrating or what's being given, what information is being given to you at that time until you practice it. So it feels like a silent thread to me.
It's easier to just tell them, oh, nothing.
Yeah, nothing. What are you thinking? No,
Even if you
everything
called
or
them, you're not going
nothing.
to get it anyway. So just kind of, oh, what are you thinking? I don't know. Universal consciousness just said your mom's weird. And I'm just trying to figure out how they even know that and why you're talking with them and you don't know you're talking with them. And so I'm kind of looking at this whole dynamic, wondering what the heck, but I can't say yes, so I'll just say nothing.
Nothing.
What are you thinking? Nothing. Nothing.
But now it's coming wherein, like, I could be in the middle of conversation and an idea would come out of the blue and I would just speak it out to the person I'm speaking to. And they're like, oh, really? and I'm thinking to myself in my mind, where did that come from?
It's the space between the thoughts when the clarity, there's these little clear spots.
And it's clear to them. And they say, oh my God, I never would have thought of that. Thank you. And I'm thinking, I had no concept of that idea that moment before. And all of a sudden, it just pops into my brain to give to this person.
Yeah. Nice.
So I guess it becomes louder and you begin to speak it out loud instead of it just being a silent thread.
Yeah, I guess that practice of that, exercising that muscle of that, for me, or when you're talking then about, it's kind of like if someone asks a question, it's almost you can be that information highway.
Yeah.
If you happen to be there, oh, you have a voice. Well, let's go
speak it out loud. Yeah. Exactly.
Let's go through Sarah because she's there. Okay, because I guess you've practiced that quite. I mean, you're open for that, and you
exactly
use that muscle quite a bit more.
Mm-hmm. And now it just comes out like water. It's like I could just be speaking to people, and whatever it is they need to know just comes on out like water.
Yeah, nice.
It's nice, but it's a little, the word is not scary. It's a little like uncomfortable for you because you don't know how that's coming through. And sometimes it's uncomfortable for the person you're speaking to because they don't know how you know this information. But they know they can really use it at that time.
How do you know that? Oh, it's in your face, it just says it all over your face. Yeah.
And they're like, oh, I gotta go with that because that feels good and right. Okay. Yeah, that's what it is.
I have a story the opposite side of that. I don't, it was a long time ago and I'd gotten a ride from this guy. And it's not somebody I'd really gotten a ride with before. He said, oh, I'll give you a ride. So we're riding. And the message comes, and it's this other being. It's this guy, and he just said, "Oh, the guy who's driving, he's this, that, and just okay." So, and the guy says, well, "What's the matter with you?" I said, "Well, I don't think you're going to take it very well." So I started telling him, and I said, "Did you have a brother?" And he says, I don't tell anybody about that. And I said, well, it doesn't matter. He's telling me if you're telling me or not. So is anything you want to tell me about your brother while you got a chance? And he told me a little bit about it. And said, well, your brother, he's mad at you. And I told him all this stuff. And I don't know. It was probably like a half an hour worth of that. And the end of the thing was he said, well, that's really interesting. Does my brother have any messages for me? He says, yeah, he wants you to quit being a pain in the ass. Start being a decent person and quit being a dick. He says, my brother would absolutely say that. I said, well, you said he was your brother. I had no reason to doubt him, but you seem like an okay person to me, but he says stop being a dick. So you take however you. So sometimes the information that comes isn't this great big epic realization that they think it's going to be. Sometimes it's a message of yeah, I'm around, I'm still watching you, don't be a dick. Okay,
well, you know what, that was probably an epic,
but that's really what he needed
for him.
Yeah, but he began applying that to his life and go, I haven't been talking to my mom, and dad's been iffy, and the girlfriend this, and then he took that, he was able to take that and like patch his whole life back together again, and then he took it correctly even though he was told, don't be a dick, meant smooth your life out a little bit. And he actually applied it, and then he did okay. And then abundance came, and then job openings happened, and it just, so the stupid little comment was the thing he needed to hear to kind of heal his whole life.
Exactly.
Stupid, crazy, because he gave a guy a ride. It came out of left field, outer space, cosmos, whatever. Just, there you go. It's one of the few times where that happened, just out of the blue. So sometimes I get information, it's just little, there's a tree over here that needs water, whatever, some little thing. But that time it was like, this guy's brother just came and just gave him download the what for and said, hey, so the short of it was, don't be a dick. And he actually used it and just fixed his whole life. And that was pretty neat to see. It took him like 8 or 9 months to get it all done, but he actually took it to heart. Wow, Yeah. And then every time we saw him, he'd say, "Any other news?" So no, you pretty much, we're all complete one package unit right there. He didn't have. There's no more. We're just supposed to take that and run with it, and he did. And it's neat when you can see somebody get a message from spirit and run with it, and then absolutely do awesome with it. That is so cool. That's what makes it worth it, to just like talk to a stranger or go be decent somewhere or just, kid around, be okay, with everything wherever you are. It's just like, oh, that helped somebody. Oh, okay, cool. They needed that comic relief, or they needed to overhear your weird conversation, because sometimes we go to places and we'll start talking about something and the whole place will shut up. It's kind of like, are they listening to us? And say, well, they probably better, and sometimes that happens. So, all right, everybody, as you were, finish your dinner. We're done talking now. You're freaking us out. But sometimes that happens too. It's fun though. It is fun. So if anybody ever said, ask you, is spirituality worth it? You betcha. Because it's where all the satisfaction is. It's where all the goodies are. It's where focusing on non-physicality is where all the magic's at. So yeah, you could watch television like everybody else, or you could tune into something else. Like this.
Yeah.
That'll be $22.50. And if you order now, you'll get a free kick in the butt.
What is next for you both? And do you feel like, is there new things coming up, or is it kind of still
channeling next? Yeah, channeling will be next for me, I think.
Yeah.
All
for
out.
Me,
whether it's conscious or whatever.
Yeah. For Dan is channeling. For me, I have no idea. I do so many things already. I'm just like, okay, what's new? And I was just discussing with someone and say, every time I ask, who am I get something new. The first question, who am I get hit with a naga with Kundalini energy. There you go. Next time I ask, Hathor. There you go. Next time I ask, something else happens. Boom, there you go. So I say, it could be a dangerous question that, who am I?
Right now, and get smacked with galactic language. Yeah.
Smacked with galactic language. There you go.
Just walking down the street. Oh, I wonder what's going on. Whack. Oh, that's what's going on. All right.
All right. You say so. Who am I? You're a tree. Bam.
Boom.
There you go. And for most people, they'll probably look at you like you're crazy.
Be a tree in a windstorm and then smack them on the head. Boom, boom. I'm a coconut tree. Boom,
I'm in character. Come on.
Yeah.
But it makes so much sense when you really get down to it, because we're all connected.
Yeah.
It makes so much sense.
I'd like to go to like a great big spiritual retreat and like thump people on the head and then tell them I'm channeling little bunny foo-foo.
What?
Yeah. Bop
Little bunny
foo-foo. Little bunny foo-foo hopping through the forest, scooping up spice and bopping them on the head. I thought that'd be just a hilarious thing to do at some event somewhere. Why that guy smacked me? Oh, never mind. He's channeling Little bunny foo-foo. Don't worry. Watch him. He's going to smack that guy over there.
Oh, man. Have you started Galactic language?
Have I studied, did you say?
Started
Galactic
taking different languages that you don't understand.
Yeah, that kind of kicked in really strongly ironically on a 12-12-12.
Awesome.
And so light language been coming through for a while, and been playing with friends, and then I went through a phase of this is a load of BS. And my friend asked me to co-host a meditation for 12-12-12, and I'm like, yeah, no, I'm done with the whole numbers thing and this. I'm just gonna stay at home and I'm just gonna chill. I'm just gonna stay in. And so I did, and I'd already kind of had an awakening with the voice coming out, and I felt that same energy again when I was there with my cup of tea and my muffin and watching YouTube, and I just felt the energy. It could be any time, it could be anywhere. You don't have to be meditating. And so
exactly.
4 different dialects, I guess, came through my voice, and I was there for a good 2 hours, waving my arms around and blah, 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 blah.
Would you mind speaking one?
Oh, okay.
Or any, whichever pops up for you.
Okay, what would like to come through now? That would be a contribution to the people listening and tuning in.
Yes.
Ki kuri nei na kai te to kuri mata I te mo tu I ma la te ne mo I te ma I na ti ki ne te ke na ta ta I te mo I no I te ka I ne o to I ne ta sui ne tai mo I na I te e ko mo I te ma ta ke ne to mo ko ta ke. Well, that was a new one for me.
Good.
Yes. What did you feel? I want to know what you felt with that.
For me, I feel in my bodily sensations, I feel like kind of nice heart energy and there's little flutters. I try not to kind of go into who are you, what are you.
I know. That's okay.
I just get a sentiment of the message of, it was like a hi, like,
hi.
we wanted to chat to you, and it's like, come on.
Yay. Did you get any feeling about the language, where it came from?
I would be guessing, but the word that came up was Hathors. A little bit.
Hathors. Okay.
What else? I don't know. I don't have maybe I don't have it in my reference dictionary. But.
Well, to my ears, it felt like Syrian and like an old, like indigenous tribal language.
Okay.
That's how it felt to my ears. Like more from the Americas, I want to say.
Mm-hmm.
Did you get something, Dan?
It activated something behind my right eye, but then it was hitting my third eye pretty hard. I was blinking there pretty good.
Yeah, me too.
And so it did something. So it was some kind of little attunement going on there that was pretty interesting.
Mm-hmm.
As far as what it said, I'm not quite sure what it said. My consensus feeling was, oh, this is all good and don't worry about it. Okay.
Hi, my name is this, and
hi. Oh, by the way, and then we're going to do this thing. Your light bulb, and then we're going to do this other thing, and then there. And
so that's what
barbecue next weekend, Thursday.
Yeah, it's got quite a chatty thing, and the reason why I prefix it with that question, and I always do this because I do sound baths and when I do classes, is that then it invokes the energy of what's required for the group, for whoever's going to be receiving this. And for me, it's when I sound or light language or whatever, bring that, acknowledge that energy consciousness, it is that. Then it's helping and assisting those people that are receiving it, that part of them, that aspect of themselves. So go, I don't know what you said, but I recognize it or something. And then
it's not so much an infusion. It's more like an adjustment. It's an adjustment. What's the other thing? It's not an infusion. It's like an adjustment, attunement, like an attunement.
Nice.
Galactic attunement.
Thank you for inviting me to do that. I haven't done that for a while.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Well, co-creation happened for whatever reason, so it wanted to use that to do whatever it was doing. Yeah.
So yeah, what else we can tap into that's ready to be acknowledged?
Oh, we're going to tap into things. Okay.
Yo kairete poti salgoro to mushkanarati. Oyanaya yoitini ora. Ayoroto arati siroto. Ayoko taisi ki uishiaya. Ayoya ni suko ota. Tunuko orinia ya oya tayo nayo. Tanya yana.
Nice.
It seems you got a lot from that. What did you get from that?
She really got something, yeah.
She's getting it in.
Magic.
Magic. What did you feel there, Yi?
I just felt really lovely. It felt really loving. And then my hand goes, because it feels like I'm receiving energy. Like I said, I try not to comprehend it because I know when I go into analysis, I go into analysis process. What is it? But that's one way of me receiving and reading the energy. And it just kind of...
Yes. It's funny when your hands start doing things by itself, like it has a mind of its own. My hand does that sometimes.
And I do that with clients as well. I'm like, my hand's going, and then they kind of go, "What's going on with your hand?" I'm like, "Oh yeah, don't worry, look at that."
Just look right here. Don't worry about this over here. That's weird. It's funny when your hand starts doing things. You're just like, don't worry about it. I'm just adjusting energies.
Yeah. I just felt really loved.
Oh,
really loved.
That's beautiful. What did you feel then?
I'm not sure. Good. That one kind of went when you started initially. My ears started ringing.
Ooh.
And I thought, this is weird. It's in the listening mode, so it was in the ears. Hers was...
Or it's in the third eye.
Blinking my eyes and kind of...
Yeah, yours is in the third eye.
This one was kind of the ears and kind of, that's interesting. So now I'm just like, I guess I'm getting a lot of attunement today. So now I wonder what they're going to watch this recording later. I'd be interested to see what the comments are on this video later once it gets posted, to see what their experiences were. Did they, even if it's a video generation down, are they sensitive enough to what happened with their...
Well, let's just put the question out there. What did you feel during both light languages?
Yeah.
Let's put it out there to the audience.
If you feel for the first one, and please comment. And then
please comment at the bottom.
Serious comments, all the whack-a-mole comments will probably get deleted. But if you had a serious reaction or experience to that, then that'd be
awesome.
Or an Arcturian one. That's funny when you say, "Hey, did you have a serious reaction?" A serious,
reaction or an Arcturian reaction?
An Arcturian reaction too.
That's good.
I love how your brain works. That's the third surprising comment you made to me. I'm loving how your brain works.
And I don't know if I'm actually even speaking or if this is something else happening. So that's kind of weird too.
Oh, what's that?
If I'm speaking or not.
Yeah, you're speaking.
but is it me or is it Memorex?
Well, I kind of felt my father for a second when you were speaking earlier, and I said, "Oh, there he goes."
You know what he sounds like, though.
Yeah. Well, you kind of connected to that
vibration his
for a
voice.
second. My father is a dragon that he channels.
He having a meltdown.
He's getting more comfortable with channeling.
Well, I don't usually say
very deep voice.
I don't usually yeah, I can't do it today.
Oh, that's okay. It slipped through for a second. I said, "Oh, there he goes."
But the wisdom. I'm not. The wisdom's amplifying. So I'm becoming privy to things that are that I wasn't previously privy to before. You know.
You care to explain?
It's like I was aware. My awareness was always pretty good. Sorry, I'm doing the thing. But my awareness was always pretty good, and then now the awareness is amplified. I'm aware of even more stuff, and so tapping into levels that were previously not tapped by me before, getting into deeper levels of people, places, things, stuff. All right, I got oil everywhere. But yeah, so I'll say the signal's improving somewhat exponential like over time. So here, really, the last 6 months, crazy epic growth. Yeah, craziness. And all the beings are saying, soon, soon, soon. And my meditations have been deeper, crazy, wackier. And even the healing meditations have taken an expansion as well. So those are even growing. So, yeah, growth. I see expansion going on. Uh-oh. Yes. I see you going away over there. Hello.
Hello.
How are you?
We are well.
Are you all the way in? You need a moment?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Well, then take a moment and we'll just hold the space and you get situated. Is this Sarah's higher self?
No, it is not.
It's someone else? All right. Well, when you get settled, you let me know and then we'll ask you about you and stuff.
Very well.
All right. So we'll just hang out here and try to fill the video space with some kind of entertainment. Oh, really? I dream of you. That's so funny. Well, because she had the lilt in the voice for a second, like her higher self, but then it changed and then said, oh, okay. Something new and interesting. So we'll find out here momentarily.
We are happy that we may entertain you so well.
Oh, well, no, this is just us entertaining while we're waiting for you to integrate.
Yes, we understand.
All right. So do you have a name we can call you?
We are a collective of Pleiadians.
Does your collective have a name?
No, it does not.
It doesn't have a name. All right. So you're just Pleiadian Collective Group. All right. And you're an aspect of Sarah as well, or partially or something?
Yes, that is correct.
All right. But you've been listening for a while, and something we said or did got your attention enough for you to want to come in. Is that true?
Not particularly.
Oh, you just popped in willy-nilly? Oh, that's even better.
Yeah.
So you bring a message then. you bring some kind of information.
Or is there any information that you wish to discuss with us?
Well, we don't know what information you're capable of discussing. Did you have a topic to begin with? To start off with?
We are here to offer our services to you.
Okay. May I ask a question?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so what information or insights would be relevant for us to know right now about how to better manage the energies that we are experiencing on the planet?
You are both well aware of the grounding necessary to integrate this energy, yes.
So what grounding methods or techniques would you recommend? Is there a particular ones, or does it depend on the individuals?
The recommendation is for you to become aware that your heart is the heart of the planet. And you may ground beginning from your heart and spread out towards the planet itself.
So
you have this capability.
Is the earth a representation of us?
Yes, it is. And so are you a representation of the earth itself.
Thank you. Sorry, Dan, did you have a question?
I don't know. That was just very interesting. That was very interesting. We were talking about languages just briefly ago. Do you have information you can share about languages expanding with us for us? Perhaps how they might be used to assist the masses?
The languages may be used to assist you and the masses in their vibrational balancing of the people you come in contact with and yourselves. It helps to heal the portions of their DNA that has been shut down.
As an activation?
Yes.
Or a stimuli?
Both.
To stimulate activation, should they so choose, because they still have free will to.
That is correct.
Okay, so it's an offer, a stimulation, an offering of stimuli. Okay. Interesting.
So is there a distinction with the information that is carried through languages, like languages? So for example, are those that are everyday conversation type language, and there's also key words, if you like, or key codes or key arrangements of the languages that actually activate something and create something within the recipient?
Every vibration of the words in light languages will begin to lighten or highlight the frequencies of the DNA within the people it comes. But the offering is there to open up more information within the DNA of the person.
Thank you.
You are welcome.
Sorry, I had a little glitch there. I don't know how much I missed, but the recording came right back on again. I'd like to ask a question, personal. So a moment ago, when she did the light language, and I was kind of, my eyelids were flickering, and I was kind of feeling the third eye. Can you tell me what it did while I was listening to her language? Was that an attunement?
Yes. It was also a connection to the frequency of the light languages she was speaking. It allowed you to understand that you can connect with your third eye to that information itself.
Okay.
In that process, it downloaded information into your third eye, which will open up later for you.
All right, good. And then the second time with the second language, and then I heard like the slight ringing in the right ear, and then a really tiny ring in the left ear, and then it kind of sound kind of did like some kind of weird thing too, and then kind of just calmed down. Can you tell me what kind of that was? Was that a different kind of an attunement, or?
Yes, it was.
All right.
It was an attunement to allow the information offered by Yi to be grounded within your body.
Okay. So then when we were talking a minute ago about grounding in through the heart, then it must be possible to ground people with a tone or frequency or language?
That is correct.
So people who have trouble grounding, is there a particular, so your average human, is there a tone or sound or word that we could use to help people ground, like just generally? Like say somebody like on a chat room or something, oh, I need help grounding, can somebody help me? And can we just like say a word at them and ground them?
Generally, a deep tone will help to ground any object or being. However, intention as well with the words you are speaking, any word, any vibration would allow for grounding to take place.
So we could just simply intend grounding for them, and grounding, if they are in alignment for it, will occur.
That is correct.
All right. Interesting.
Yeah, I guess so in that sense. So you could also say the word ground with the intention of ground.
Yeah.
That's correct.
You can do that.
Or we could just quickly envision them grounded, whether we envision like a spirit cord or something, or a golden rod or something, we could visualize them that way as well.
That is correct as well.
Or we could give them all tails. And then when they drag their tails around, it'll ground them. Yeah, let's give them
They have an opposite reaction for them.
Okay, well, maybe we can't use like real tails. Maybe just energetic grounding tails with glitter on them. Oh, that sparkle. Yeah, that'd be all right. Let's give them tails.
If that is what you imagine, if that is your intent, it may be so.
That might ground them. Ground them with fun. Yeah,
Yes.
Right. Yeah, that might be good too, because some of them need to lighten up a little bit, especially if they're not been grounded. They could probably use a tail. Well, that's good to know. Do you see? It's these weird little pieces of information that help with stuff. It's so nice, especially if it helps lighten things up a little bit. So it's not, even when it's delivered lightly, that's even kind of nice too. That's really good to know, though. That's because sometimes I see a lot of people asking for help. Oh, help me this, help me that. Well, you need grounding. Oh, let's just ground them real quick, and then All right, you're all better now. Well, now what's your problem? No, now I got this. Okay, well, do something else, man. So it that kind of indicates to me that things are a little bit easier to do, where we used to have to do like these huge rituals and, oh, we got to lay hands and we got to do this and, oh, we got to do this meeting for so-and-so and really help heal so-and-so. But now it seems like we can just intend rather kind of quickly and it's pretty much done rather quickly, and it's not work like it used to be. It used to be more work. Seems like we can just kind of intend it and, oh, there it goes. Well, perfect. So would you agree that that's a safe statement then, that things are easier to do now than perhaps?
They are easier at this time. However, if you perceive the human to be outside of yourself, when you have this intention for their grounding, the process may take longer than if you perceive that human as yourself.
Oh, that's interesting. That's interesting. So if you see them as a part of you, it's easier. But if you see them as separate from you, it's more difficult or it takes longer.
Yes.
Because they're different kinds of connections. One's a more intimate connection where they're a reflection of you and you're a direct reflection of them. That's a very close connection. But if you perceive them as being something other, it might take a while to work around to get to finally them. Oh,
that is correct.
Wow, that's really interesting. So
could we also say the statement that if one is in their heart space and grounded in that heart space, we're being that energy for the perceived other being that's in your reality. So you embodying that groundedness is assisting.
Your grounding would help their grounding. Yeah.
Yeah.
That is correct.
That's pretty good too. What other good stuff you got in there? Creating perspective of beings.
You may ask the question.
Oh, well, I don't know. That means if grounding is easier, then healing is easier. Everything else is easier. I don't know. What happens if everything's easy?
You'll find another way to make things difficult for yourself.
Yes, but in the finding ways to make things difficult, we're actually clearing those ways out. They don't stay difficult.
That is correct.
So it all serves, no matter how long it serves or how long it takes to serve, it serves. Sometimes things don't serve the way we think they're going to serve, and they serve a different way completely. That's always fun, too.
So may I ask a question about, so rather than, I wonder what would be fun to create. So what interesting ways can we create together and co-create more consciously with the likes of yourselves, the Pleiadians, and other, what some people call the unseen beings? What fun and magical ways can we collaborate together?
Plainly ask.
Plainly ask generally, like, hey, whoever's around who'd like to help with this thing, let's do this thing over there, and then go do it. And then whoever's handy is handy.
You are handy.
Well, that's good.
Simply ask for interaction, and you will have interaction.
Yeah, so you can be...
Understand that the interactions you perceive are also part of you.
Right. To be a reflection or co-creation of.
Or an aspect of you.
So just before that, a scenario popped in my mind. So if you're aware of a place that, say, has like a lot of accidents or something at it, and you would like to put some healing there, could you leave like a healing bubble there so that as energies that pass through there could be like safer so they could get through? You could leave like a healing like invisible healing igloo right there. And then, like, so if it's a place on like a road where cars crash a lot, you'd say, you know what, we're tired of cars crashing here. How about we put a little healing bubble right here, and less people will crash. We could do that then. Just
Yes, you may.
Co-create with other beings. Say, I'm not going to be by this place all the time. Some of you beings that are around, help me co-create this bubble, and then you all monitor it for me because I got like 3D to do. You know, that would be all right. Okay, that's good. That's good. So then we could help things that we wouldn't otherwise think we could help.
That is correct.
We could leave a healing bubble somewhere. And they could be whatever size. It can be the size of a house or whatever. Say, oh, here's a bad intersection and there's always accidents here. Well, let's put a bubble on the intersection. That would be cool, actually. I wonder how many healing bubbles we can like throw at places. That'd be neat.
Does Sarah have any questions?
She asked her questions directly to us.
Ah, good.
We often speak with Sarah. And we often download a lot of information to her.
Oh, okay. Because she doesn't.
Is there anything relevant to be shared in this particular forum in this moment of time with the people tuning in and the people on the panel?
The understanding that you are everything and experience. You are it.
Thank you. Thank you for that confirmation. Dan, is there anything else you would like to add?
Well, I'm kind of getting that other people who are watching can ask for, because this is an introduction to this energy, and so they can ask for connections through the video for more information.
Correct.
So there's like an invitation being secretly transmitted underneath the conversation that I just picked up on. Yeah.
Not secretly.
Well, it was. It wasn't. I wasn't aware of it, so it was secret until it became awareness, and now it's aware, and now it's no longer a secret.
Yes.
Subconsciously and consciously, maybe.
Yeah. That darn consciousness, it's so tricky. Interesting. So then this can expand even more, and then that expands the Pleiadian energy some more. Oh, so this is going to really amplify into something, isn't it? Okay. That's pretty neat. I like that too. Yeah. What else you got going on over there, Sarah? Aspect Pleiadian Collective. Anything you'd like to offer, just generally?
There are so many generalities. It works best if you were to ask a question.
All right, let me
direct the frequency.
Let me ask
what you wish to know.
Let me ask this question then, because on our planet right now, I've recently become aware that our very sensitive, empathic people are going to need some serious help here for the rest of this year and all of next year. That by the time 2020 gets here, they're going to be quite challenged. And I'm wondering, in order to reach the most amount of empaths to help them the most, would it be best, in your collective opinion, to have the empaths begin connecting to their higher selves or their source self as much as possible to help balance out their empathy?
Yes.
So then they won't be so, or rather, they won't be impaired by their empathy, that they'll actually be more solidified within their empathy and be in more control, or at least feel more balanced?
We can ground this information as to say the connection of the mind in the heart, the balance of it is the most important. If you were to say to connect to your higher self, to those who have no understanding of that knowledge, it does not help.
It would probably help them more to say, if they're aware of their chakras and if they're aware of where their heart is, if they could place their mind in their heart space, that would balance it.
Yes, having love and compassion offers the balance to connect to the higher self itself.
All right. So if they could be sensitive enough to become aware of their heart, and then be sensitive enough to become aware of where they think their mind is, and then put their mind in their heart space as like a meditation, and then just hold it there, that would balance it out where they wouldn't be impacted so heavily by the empathic whatever pulses.
If there is an understanding in that way, the answer is yes.
Okay.
But without,
it might be more challenging if they're not aware of it.
exactly.
Okay, that's all right. And we
Without the
understand.
process, it would be easier.
So just trying to find a simple process that the empaths can begin to do energetically, mentally, meditatively, that's a word, that will help
The
them.
intention itself is what is necessary. If you try to divide and separate to create a process, it will become harder.
Right, but for some of them, they have absolutely no clue what to do at all. So at least a little process might be better than the nothing that they have now. If they can get the gist of it, even if they don't necessarily apply it per se, but if they begin to think about it, even that would help them a little bit.
If that was served, it is correct.
Yeah. So the idea is to help, I don't know, the bulk of them. And if we can get the bulk of them to learn how to balance, then they'll be ready at the end of this 2-year time period, because I don't know what's coming up in 2020, but we need our empaths to be in good shape by then, because we need them to transmute whatever's going to happen next, I guess. So we need
The
to
best way to do this is to understand your heart is the heart of the earth.
Right. That's been said earlier.
And that will automatically ground you, the energies within you, and the energies around you.
And for anybody who would do that.
That is correct.
Okay. So grounding their heart to the earth by realizing their heart is the earth and the earth is their heart.
Yeah.
Well, there's a representations of. Okay. All right. Because I know it's a challenge when working with empaths to help them while they're in a state of overwhelmment from everything. So trying to find them something simple, maybe not necessarily so fast, but something effective and simple that they can begin to balance with. So that, anyway, I've been trying to find something to help them do that. So grounding and a little meditation and get them balanced. All right, well, we'll start there and see what happens.
Very well.
How are you feeling otherwise? Are you in good shape over there?
Perfect.
Perfect. Good. We like perfect. Does the channel need a drink?
The channel is okay.
She's okay. All
And
right,
she would
good.
like to come back.
She'd like to come back. Well, that's okay with us if it's okay with everybody. So thank you for coming, and thank you for your information.
Thank you.
And we'll see
Namaste.
how it expands. Namaste. Huh. How about that?
Thanks,
Yes,
Sarah.
very,
Take a breath. Or 2 or 5 or 10.
I like the Pleiades. They're very just, this is the information.
Yeah, that was nice. I was trying to find something for the empaths because I did see something the other day that was pretty helpful. So it has a lot to do with them tuning into their source. And then that will balance them out, because empaths, when they complain, they're complaining about the negative, and the negative effect of being an empath is that they're like all the energies and stuff going on. But I guess if they can just recenter and tune back into their source again, that this will all calm down then. So their biggest complaint, what they normally do to handle that, is they just withdraw. And instead of withdrawing, I wish that they would just go within, and then all of that will calm down. So I'm trying to find a way to present this to sensitive people in a way that they'll get it and want to do it, because withdrawing isn't getting it anymore. They need to actually just center it.
Well, I can tell you from my own experience that the withdrawing was because I was feeling everybody else's energies and I was not strong within my own.
Yeah.
I can agree with that.
So going within would be better than withdrawing, but most are still withdrawing, and then they're
that withdrawal allows the going within, you see.
Kind of, but some do it without going in. They just withdraw and shut down. It's like they shut themselves up instead of going in and creating sacred space. They're just going in and out.
What it is, the withdrawing allows for them to connect to their own energy. Their energy begins to build, and as they build with their own energy, they learn what their energy is. And so when they go back out into the world, they can stand in their own energy in a more powerful manner. It's not just about withdrawing and shutting down. It's about the withdrawing in order to understand more about yourself and become aware about yourself and learn what your energies are, in order for you to step outside and remain strong and balanced in your own energies.
Yes.
And then if somebody else comes out with very high vibrational, intense energy that will usually floor that empath,
they'll be fortified.
They'll be fortified within their own energy and balanced enough to stand in their energy without allowing somebody else to take over.
That's what we're aiming for. We're trying to get
but
them fortified.
They're withdrawing and closing up. Some do, but sometimes that closing up allows for them to become more aware of themselves.
Right, but
it is necessary.
I guess to go from the shift, I don't want them to run around being blocked everywhere they go, like they're in a little cocoon, and I'm trying to get them balanced where they don't need a cocoon. They're just the things protecting them.
You cannot do that for them.
Affect them.
Yeah, we can be the invitation, I guess. I hear.
But you can inform them. You can train them. You can give them the idea that, hey, there's a better way to handle this other than cowering, because cowering isn't working anymore. We need to get them fortified.
From my perspective, that I totally resonate with what Sarah just said, and I've also learned on my path as well that they will ask when they're ready, and I've learned that I have to embody that myself to be the invitation. And then I still, there's no it to get. It's like that's a continual refinement. Like it's almost like the more I expand, the more I'm stronger. It's like the next level. And then I still know moments of retreat to kind of go, well, okay, that's interesting. There's something else I'm not willing to receive yet. I'm still, in my language and world, that I'm still judging. Mm-hmm. Therefore, it kind of knocks me off. And it's like, okay, no, that's something I obviously still have in my vibrational field that is triggering me. Okay, cool. So hence I guess very early on in the conversation about, oh, cool, there's something, rather than being oh my God, I need to hide, it's like, oh, cool, there's something else I can look at that's coming up that I'm being triggered at. How else can I be strong with this? What is in my energy field that's not resonating as truth? It's a limitation, I guess people say, or ready to be released. But I need to kind of come back and check and go, well, what is it? And rather than be continually pinged.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You can go out and play that out. Maybe sometimes it needs playing out. That's also a way, not shunning away. And
but I'm toying with the idea
that the temptation is to, I guess I've heard the word spiritually bypass and actually not have interaction with that and kind of go, shit, I'm not going to go there. That's uncomfortable. But sometimes maybe going through it is the way.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but I've been entertaining the idea of maybe coming up with a little meditation or something just for empaths to kind of plant these seeds and give them the idea of fortify instead of cower. And
if it resonates with them, I guess that
for just a little couple minute meditation to just kind of, hey, it can work, but what we really want to do is have you balanced enough where the things that are bothering you bother you less or don't bother you at all, ultimately, so that you're still an empath, but you're not an out of control empath. You're more balanced empath, because it's going to be important. I don't know why, but they're all talking about the empaths are very important. And if they're shut down when we need them to transmute those energies for us, then we're going to be in a world of hurt. And I don't want to be hurt if we can avoid it. So how about we help them out now, since we know about it now? Go ahead and help them out. Are you slipping away again, Sarah? Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Is that somebody new?
No, just swimming in energy.
Okay. All right. Otherwise, it's about the 2-hour mark. Would you like to end the recording and then have this?
I think this was wonderful. Thank you for joining us, Yi. I hope you come back.
Thank you for inviting me. Thank you that's really lovely. Thank you for the energy that you bring. It's nourishing and a reminder of source.
We like nourishing, sourcey stuff.
Yeah. So, a friend of mine has a bumper sticker that, would you like sauce with that?
Oh, that's funny. All right, well, then I'll stop the recording here. And then when it's up, it'll probably be up to Sarah's YouTube channel. But all right, so with that being said, I'm going to end.